Good evening and welcome to On Cue Magazine. I'm Stacy Smith. 1 year ago this week, we met a young man who was making international headlines in Mercer County. That's because Christopher Portman became Mayor Christopher Portman when he was sworn in as the Mayor of Mercer at the age of 19. And as you would expect, the young mayor faced many critics and challenges during his first year in office. And now On Cue correspondent Tonya Caruso takes you back to Mercer for a progress report in tonight's cover story.
This time last year, his face and his story were everywhere.
I was in the London Times, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the New York Post, the Los Angeles Times. Okay, how is everybody today?
Christopher Portman was quickly adjusting to life in the spotlight.
Elementary, and I was on all the major networks. Dave Letterman joked about me.
People everywhere, it seemed, were obsessed with the young kid who became mayor of this quaint small town. Some described it as a novelty, but for Portman, there was nothing novel about it. And 1 year later, the media frenzy may have settled, but his enthusiasm is as strong as ever. Are you pleased with your first year in office?
Absolutely. I think for my age and for what I was coming up against, the age factor being a major one, that things are good. At first I was nervous. How would they take me? But I think they've taken me well. I thought as though I have to approach this in the right way, because at any moment I can come off as a hothead know-it-all teenager, and that's not what I wanted.
Technically, this teenage mayor is no longer a teen. The mayor turned 20 earlier this year. He's sporting a new haircut and something else, a new desk at the city building. He used to have to work out of his bedroom at his parents' home.
Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye.
I'm Chris Portman, getting you through the afternoon here on Titan Radio, Digital 88.9. It's rather cold outside, so make sure you bundle up. We've got a lot of great hits coming up, like Lifehouse, Backstreet.
The mayor is also a full-time straight-A sophomore at Westminster College. You might think he'd major strictly in political science, but the mayor has other ideas.
My ultimate goal is to be the President of the United States. But to get there, I want to be able to be a broadcaster and a journalist for a good time.
And so he works at the college radio station and has a weekly interview segment on the school's TV news program.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Portman. I'm here tonight with Ted Sly. He's the commanding officer at the Salvation Army for...
But he soon learned journalism and politics can be two careers that are sometimes tough to juggle.
The Governor Schweikert, came to Westminster, and the college, of course, wanted me there as the young mayor that attends their college, but I'm also a broadcasting student and a video production class. Well, I was the only one that really had good access to the governor, enough to get a soundbite or to talk and get some thoughts from the governor. So I had to make a decision. Am I going to be the mayor, or am I going to be the broadcast political, science student? What am I going to do here? And I decided that I had to be the mayor that day. I was asked to be the mayor first, and I could not go to the governor as a journalist. I couldn't cross that line. There's a clear line there, and I will never, as mayor or a journalist, cross that line. Hi, Carrie. This is Mayor Christopher Portman calling.
The mayor balances that line by spending the mornings at school and the afternoons at the office.
Do we charge them late fees?
He's in charge of the street department, the police force, and something else.
Thank you all for coming today. Today is a very special day for two very special people.
As the mayor, he can also marry people. Dennis and Crystal Bollinger were the first of about 10 couples he's helped to tie the knot.
You may kiss the bride.
I said, I'm only 19, and they want me to marry them.
Someone brought to my attention that, you're the youngest mayor and stuff like that, and I said, well, that's something different. I'm guaranteed we have to be one of the first ones he's ever married.
And the mayor's had a few other surprises in the past year, like a 10-day trip to Taiwan.
Ni hao, 我是美国宾州 Portman 市长.
And that says?
Hello, my name is Mayor Christopher Portman from the United States of America, from the state of Pennsylvania.
He was invited by the Taiwanese government to speak to young people about getting involved in politics.
The most rewarding part was getting to talk to the young people and knowing that the same problems that we have here, they have over there too. Lack of interest, and trying to get them motivated and make them realize that their opinion counts.
So what about the opinions back in Mercer? Are voters happy with their new mayor? Dorothy Bider says even skeptics are now supporters.
They didn't think he could do the job, but I think he's shown people that he can do it. People think that he's got a good head on his shoulders. They really do. I've heard no bad complaints about him. I've heard good things.
Is it everything you thought it would be?
I think so. In some aspects, I think I was naive in knowing how long some things take, how long the process is sometimes to get things through, that it's slow moving.
One of the mayor's biggest concerns is bringing new businesses to town. He's in the process of writing dozens of grants for economic development, community improvements, and the police force. Issues most 20-year-olds may never think about. But then again, this is not most 20-year-olds.
It's not like a career where you could be there for 30 years. It's not a secure job like that. It's a term-to-term job. So you always have that in the back of your mind. This is another day that goes by, and in the days are counting down. Will I complete everything I want to by December 31st, 2005?
Now, you may wonder, with such a busy schedule, does the mayor have any time for a social life? Well, he told me he does make time to hang out with friends, but his work, both as the mayor and as a student, always comes first. And Stacy, you may remember when we first met the mayor last year, he had a girlfriend.
Yes, I do remember that.
They are no longer together. The mayor has been spending most of his time just really working on the office of mayor.
Working on the office of mayor. I see then he has not given up the hope of becoming president of the United States. Still wants that.
Still wants that as well.
Made a nice choice there of an ethical decision between being a journalist or being the mayor. He's doing things like that correctly. What about his relationship, though, with like city council and the police chief, or those?
Yeah, as the mayor, you know, he's 20 years old. He's in charge of the police force. The police chief was not there the day that we went to Mercer, but he told me that he actually gets along very well with the mayor. In fact, they've known each other for years. The mayor's daughters used to, or the police chief's daughters used to babysit Christopher Portman when he was a little boy. And so he does. He has a very trusting relationship, both with the mayor, and he talked about how he has slowly begun to build relationships with the people on council. The old mayor is the president of council right now, and the old mayor was very supportive of Mayor Portman as he was running for office. So really what people are finding here is, this time last year, it was a big deal. This kid was 19 years old and just becoming mayor, and what's happening now is they're really seeing him as someone who has some ideas, someone who really wants to push that area forward. He
talked about December 31st, 2005. Is he looking to go for re-election, or is he looking to expand from this point?
Well, he told me basically that will depend upon how much he has finished by the time his term is over. I was very surprised. You would think he's 20 years old, that he would be thinking just in long terms. As you heard him in the story, he's really counting every single day that he has in office, because he does have an agenda that he wants to push forward. He told me it all depends upon where he is at the time.
With his own agenda.
Yes.
All right, Tonya, thank you. Coming up, the economic outlook for 2003. Are investors finally